Good morning. Welcome to today's worship service. We are grateful that you are here with us today. And this is my first time doing this, so please forgive me when I screw up, okay? My name is Fred Garber, and I'm the service coordinator for today here at All Souls Church, where our mission is to seek truth, practice love, and celebrate life. Whether you are joining us for the first time or you've been a member for a long time, you are welcome here. Whatever faiths you have known or not known, or whatever your heritage, you are welcome here. Whatever questions you hold, whatever truths you seek, whatever sorrow you have known, whatever joy you has filled your heart, whoever you are and whomever you are welcome here. I got to get out my little cheat sheet here. Okay. Okay. All right. Announcements. Got a couple of those today. There's a outside and inside work day next Saturday on the 11th at 8:30. So come and work if you're good at it. If you're not good, we don't care. You can come anyway. There's an orientation session in the library immediately following the service if you're new to Unitarian Universalism. Okay, and there's also one on Tuesday evening. Are there any additional announcements?
Yeah, hi, I'm Paul Thompson, chair of this pledge campaign. Our pledge campaign is winding down. If you are planning on making a pledge, it'd be great if you would do that in the next week or two. We have a box in the back. You can put your pledge card in, or you can speak to me. Thank you so much. We depend on your pledges to further the work of our church.
Hi, my name is Gina, and I had been asked to to consider being the facilities chair, and have accepted that, and am finding a lot of joy and some good things in doing that. So, is that better? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this next Saturday, we have a once-a-month cleaning on a Saturday, and I just wanted to put an ask out to everybody who can come in, because taking care of this place that is our place, it takes more than one or two people. So every hand is much appreciated. And I'm thinking maybe we'll have a list of tasks. I don't know for sure how to, I'm kind of working this out on the fly here sometimes, but we also have, as you can see across the way, that is our property over there. And right now it is a rental. But on the outside, there are twigs down, there's some different things. So even help with that. And I want to just say how much gratitude I have for Eric. Eric, where are you? Way, yeah, spot there. And the work he has done, if you walk around the property, and Eric has been the spring cleanup man at this point with his tools and such. But again, it's more than one person. We need, and just think about it. Maybe we can make it a potluck or something. But just come and join, enjoy each other in a different setting, in a different way. Working together, it gets done faster. So Alan will put it out in the e-blast. For those of you who are new, if you, what time is that supposed to be on Sunday?
8:30.
8:30?
Yeah.
Ooh, bring the coffee. So all hands will be much appreciated. and maybe we can have, just bring a snack for the morning that we can share together later too. So I look forward to seeing people next Saturday morning, 8:30.
Okay.
I have something to say. So, all of you know that on the 19th, Sunday the 19th, is going to be a special program. It's a program of music, poetry, artwork.
Artwork. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
I've got a loud voice to begin with. So what we'd like to do, if anybody would like to bring extra flowers, we'd like to fill the congregation with flowers. If you would like to bring something for the lunch afterwards, something savory or something sweet, please let one of us know, Dan or myself, or JC, let us know if there's anything that you would like to bring. But this is going to be a special time of a program for everyone to enjoy.
No, back down there. And now you're going to play another beautiful song for us. Beautiful as always. And now we're going to have the chalice lighting. In your bulletin, there's an insert about chalice lighting. We pray together. And we can read this together. Source of life and love, we pray for peace in our world. We seek peace in our hearts, a peace that transcends all understanding, that heals all wounds, that reconciles all conflicts. Grant us the wisdom to seek peace, to pursue dialogue, to embrace diversity, to respect dignity, and to uphold justice. May we be blessed with peace, a peace that is a gift and a responsibility that is a promise and a challenge that is a hope and a reality. Let us say amen. Now we're going to sing our first song. On page 67, please stand for that. It's in the gray hymnal. If you are unable to stand, it's okay to sit, which I normally do because of all the drugs I take, okay? We sing now together our song of thanksgiving. Have wrought, or life that unfolds us and holds and reveals us, leaves beyond glory. Okay, our first reading is on page 581. Now, just a little thing before we begin this, where it says prayer for Hiroshima Day, but it's also prayer for Holocaust remembrance, okay? I'll be reading the regular part, and you'll be reading the italicized version. Gray, out of pale nothingness, their agony appears.
Like ash they are blown and blasted by winds vermilion breathlessness.
Like shapeless smoke, their shapes are torn across the paper sky.
They are not beautiful, yet beauty is in truth.
There's no easy music in their silent screams, no ordered dancing in their grief's distracted limbs.
Their shame is ours, we too are haunted by their fate.
Their voices call to us in pain and indignation. This is what you have done to us.
Their accusations is our final hope. Be comforted.
Yes, we have heard you, ghosts of our indifference. We hear your cry. We understand your warnings.
We too shall refuse to accept our fate.
Haunt us with the truth of our betrayal until the earth's united voices shout refusal, sing your peace.
Forgive us the tenacity of passion. Remember what we must never again deny. Love one another.
Now we're going to have our story for all ages. And all the children, young at heart and young, and get up there, sit down, and enjoy this little book, okay?
Okay, today we're reading Curious George, The Surprise Gift. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. This afternoon, George was curious about a large box his friend was bringing home. A large box meant a large gift. "Sorry, George," said his friend, setting the gift on the table. "This present's not for you. It's for Professor Wiseman's birthday. She'll open it at dinner tonight." George was disappointed. Dinner was hours away. He wanted to know what was under the wrapping paper right now. It was lucky George didn't have much time to think about the present. His friend needed help preparing Professor Wiseman's birthday dinner. "Here's something to unwrap," said his friend. "Peel this orange to get the good stuff." George took the rind off. Squirt! The orange peel had kept the sweet juices inside. George realized there was a lot of food in the kitchen that could be unwrapped. Bananas, apples, cheese, even an onion. Stinky. Soon, George had unwrapped many yummy things, maybe too many. But he still didn't know what was under the wrapping paper of the gift. Before George could let his curiosity get the best of him, his friend sent him to the department store to pick up his new suit. At the store, George encountered many presents. There were gift boxes everywhere he looked, all brightly colored and too tempting for one little curious monkey. George unwrapped the box, but there was nothing inside. In the window display, there were more gift boxes. Strangely enough, the boxes had nothing at all. They were used for decoration, though not anymore. George couldn't wait. George couldn't wait to help unwrap the present at home. He wasn't sure it would have something inside. George hurried to finish his errand. When George got home, the present was nowhere to be found. The man with the yellow hat had wisely hid it from the curious little monkey. Did that stop George? No. George looked under the table for the surprise gift. Then he went to check the bedrooms and the bathroom. In the bathroom, George noticed that the walls were covered with wrapping paper. George scratched, he peeled, he unwrapped. What did George find after all the unwrapping? A wall. Unlike the presents and fruit, nothing especially good was hiding underneath. Luckily, there was still something left to unwrap that promised something very nice and very big inside. It was time for Professor Wiseman to open her birthday gift. With George's help, she unwrapped and unwrapped and unwrapped. Inside the big box was a small gift. "I never thought such a present like this would be such in a big box," she said. The man with the yellow hat, had wrapped it up so she would have a harder time guessing what was inside. And it worked. George realized that what was on the outside doesn't always tell you what's on the inside, but sometimes it does.
In peace, oh now in peace. Around you, everywhere, everywhere we go. I'm not sure about Curious George, but I still dream about him once in a while. I've read those damn books so many times to my children and grandchildren, you know. And I've always wondered who this yellow man, or the man in the yellow hat is. Now it's time for our joys and concerns. In this congregation, we find it helpful to share the ups and downs of our lives by the practice of taking a stone from a bowl and holding it in our hand, warming it, and expressing our thoughts of joy and or concern, and then placing the stone in the water so that the ripples of the water carry our joys and concerns out into the wider world. I will begin by taking one stone to express a joy. This is actually for my granddaughter who just graduated from USD yesterday. And this is in memory of a brave little dog named Cricket.
So I'm going through a process of grief and joy at the same time. Ever since I was 15, when I started buying books, I've accumulated more books than you can possibly imagine. And finally, I'm getting rid of them. Thousands of books that I'm selling and down at the Full Circle bookstore, but I'm finally getting rid of the books because they're all science fiction, and really, I lost complete interest in that. But it is a strange feeling to watch I've held these books for 40 years, and now I'm getting rid of them, and glad to see them go. So it's a strange feeling.
I'm Jennifer Catholic, and I like it. This is what I recommend my density in public. Dan brought them for me, and very grateful for that.
If anybody else wants to come up, you can come up and
Good morning. My name is Sue Ann Lang, and my husband and I, Terry, had the privilege of attending the press conference to celebrate the gathering of many, many, many more valid signatures to get Roe v. Wade put back on, to be put on our Constitution. It was on Wednesday, and then they were taken to Pier and given to the Secretary of State. So it was a privilege to be there.
I'm going to put in a final stone here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ian Hafke. I'm wanting to first of all state that I still love my Jenny, and I'm so proud of her of wearing her teeth in. So I really appreciate her learning how to do that and all that good stuff. Second of all, I like to hope and pray for the folks that live over at the place where I'm at, and hope that they're all doing really well and all that good stuff. And I hope to see each and every one of you doing real well for yourselves and enjoying this weather while we can, and hope that it's going to be a good summer.
One final stone for all of our joys and concerns. Now let us pause for a moment of silent reflection as we consider what we have just heard and what is in our own hearts and on our own minds. Okay, now time for our second song, page 318 in the gray hymnal. Again, stand, and if you're unable, it's okay to sit, okay? And now join in our next reading on page 657 in the hymnal, gray hymnal. Again, I will read the regular printed stuff, and you guys are going to read the italicized version. It matters what we believe. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged. Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days with fears of unknown calamities. Some beliefs are divisive, separating the saved from the unsaved, friends from enemies. Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the powers to choose one's own direction. Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness. Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world. And now for the best part of today's service, we're going to have Jen Dreiske, who is at Augustana University. She's going to speak on mutual curiosity, interfaith chaplaincy.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me with the microphone? It's all good? Oh, good. This needs to be higher up? Does that help? Nope. How about this? We'll just use this. Okay. I can take this one? Oh, take the presentation away. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for having me back. I've been here a few times, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jen Dreiske. I have been involved in interfaith work for over 25 years here in Sioux Falls. I used my college education as my spiritual journey. I studied world religions, and through that journey of studying world religions, I converted to Judaism. And then I came back to South Dakota and was responsible for cultural and religious programming for adult corrections for 19 years. And so I did a lot of interfaith work for adult offenders across the state. And we would have 100 religious activities a week, trying to manage all of the different flavors of all the different faith traditions that would be present. And then I would be out speaking on world religions, wherever anybody would have me. And now I'm at South Dakota Voices for Peace, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer. And part of my responsibility there is going out into community and leading conversations on how to disrupt bias and discrimination and racism. And I do a presentation on the spiritual tapestry of South Dakota to talk about how does religion show up in the workplace? How does it show up in your classroom if you're a teacher? And then I was lucky enough to be chosen as Augustana University's first ever interfaith chaplain. So I work with the non-Christian students. I hate to say non-Christian, so we're trying to figure out a different way of saying that. So we are in the process of coming up with something. But before I go into all the work that we do at Augustana when it comes to interfaith work, I want to talk about the foundation of what it means to do interfaith work. And the first thing that we really need to understand when we do interfaith work is curiosity. And curiosity is one of my most favorite words. It's going to be one of my next tattoos. I'm covered in tattoos of words. And curiosity is the eagerness to learn more. It's the openness to learn more. It is the desire to be inquisitive. And how many of you went to David Brooks when he was here for the Bow Forum? Do you remember when he talked about grateful eyes? That's curiosity, is looking at the world with grateful eyes. And so to be able to do interfaith work, you have to come at it from a place of curiosity. When I do trainings out in the community, I talk about how curiosity and judgment cannot live in the same space. You cannot be curious and judgmental at the same time. So it's really important when you go into the space of interfaith work that you are mindful of what's going on in your mind. To be curious means to be vulnerable. To be curious means that you have to be willing to step into that space of maybe being unsure of what you believe, being willing to learn more about what you believe before you learn about somebody else's belief. But it is really important that you have some sort of rootedness in who you are before you start going full force into interfaith work. Because interfaith work takes consistency and it takes trust building. And you have to understand your biases. You have to understand what you think of other religions. You have to understand, where did you learn about all of these religions? Are your biases from sacred texts? Are your biases from social media? Are your biases from the news? It's being mindful of where that information is coming from. Do we all have biases? Absolutely. Is it wrong for us to have biases? Absolutely not. That's just how we are. That's just how the brain works. We put things into categories: right, wrong, bad, good. That's just how we are on absolutely everything. But it's just recognizing where those biases are at and looking at ways that we can overcome those biases. And we do that by looking at where our sources, where this information is coming from. And we have to do it with curiosity. We'll stay in our biases if we get stuck in the judgment. So what does interfaith mean? Interfaith is relationships between faith traditions. But it's also between individuals of those faith traditions. So let's break it down. What's the difference between religion, faith, and spirituality? So religion is a set of rules that teaches us how we are to interact with the world, with our higher power, with each other. It gives us the responsibilities to ourselves, to our families, to our communities, to the world, to our higher power. How do we hold each other accountable in this world and in the next? And maybe in the previous, depending on the tradition. It's exclusive. Religion is exclusive. It's fixed. Doesn't change a whole lot over time. And it's organized. And there's usually a governmental structure, organized structure, or hierarchy of who makes the rules. Faith is the belief in that religion. It's the trust, it's the confidence. But can you have faith without religion? Yeah. Then you fall into the role of spirituality. And spirituality is individual, it's free-flowing, it's inclusive, it is fluid, ever-changing. So can an individual have a spiritual journey within their own religion? Yes, because we're individuals. Religion, remember, is the hierarchy. It's the structure. The individual falls into the spirituality and the faith piece. And it's up to us if we want to choose to believe everything that falls into the religion or not. And so we need to remember how people show up in their faith. How do they show up in their religion? As a Jew, I don't keep kosher, but I get it. A lot of people assume that I must keep kosher as a Jew. Lots of people come up to me and ask if I must be a Zionist because I'm Jewish. I'm not a Zionist, and I'm Jewish. Same with Islam. Do you keep halal? A lot of them don't. There's Muslim women who don't wear hijab. So we all show up in our faiths however it feels good in the moment. And however we show up in the moment is not going to dictate how we show up tomorrow, 10 years from now. It's all based on our life experiences. It's all based on the needs that we have in that moment and whatever comfort that we need. And there's people who go from religion to religion to religion. And that's okay too. It's a journey, right? It's a journey of trying to just figure things out. And it's going into that curiosity of saying, wow, that's pretty amazing that they are able to find the beauty in all of these faith traditions. The judgment says, why the heck are they doing that? There must be something wrong with them if they can't stick with one religion, right? So it's really keeping yourself open to this idea of curiosity. The big thing that we have to talk about too, that has to come up, that is more and more present, is religious trauma. And religious trauma shows up in lots of different forms. There's religious trauma from trauma that you get from another religion, or trauma that you get from within your religion. Groups that experience a lot of religious trauma are the LGBTQ to us plus community, where the religion that they may have been a part of, they've been told that they're wrong, they're not supposed to exist, yada, yada, yada. And that's trauma of their basic identity and who they are has been put into question and put into doubt. The idea of the afterlife. You do this, you're going to hell. You do this, you're going to hell. That's religious trauma. My son, 9 years old, third grade, in the playground at Eugene Field, playing with his friends, he comes home that night and says, Mom, what's HE double hockey sticks? And I said, that's hell. What's going on? Because in Judaism, we don't have an afterlife. And he said, well, I guess I'm going there because I killed Jesus. Oh, shoot. Okay. So we had to have a conversation about, in a way of not saying that what these kids believe is wrong, but in a way of saying they just believe is different. But we don't believe that, and it's all good. And it was a hard conversation to have, and it's a conversation that we consistently have to make sure that he understands where we're at in this so that he can build that foundation. So you can see where trauma little T trauma, big T trauma. I mean, there's lots of things, but it's where you collect a memory based on a religious experience, and that memory is not a good memory. So once we understand a little bit of all of this, then when we come together to do interfaith work, we have to come at it with the goal of finding shared common values. And whether that is me coming here as a Jew and saying, oh, you light a candle too. We light 2 candles. Okay. You celebrate joys and concerns. We share healing opportunities and sadness and offer community prayer. Okay. We sit similar like this. We have a book just similar to yours with the songs and the prayers. Okay. So it's finding those shared pieces and understanding the intentions are similar. Sometimes, though, when we go into different houses of worship of different religions, we may experience holy envy. How many of you have heard of holy envy? And that's when you say, oh, I like that. I wish I did that. Why don't I do that? Oh, I really like that. It's when I'm at the Hindu temple and I see the dancing. Oh, when I see the aunties dancing and they just don't care. They're just dancing. And I think, gosh, I wish my hips and knees work like that. And they are dancing and you see the divine sparkle all around them. And you think, gosh, we don't do that in Judaism. We sit in the pews and that's all that we do. The deities. When I see the Buddha at a Buddhist temple, enshrined with all the flowers and all the food that has been bestowed upon the Buddha, and the colors and the smells, I think, oh my gosh, look at that action, all just being a part of that community. Boy, I wish we did that. We don't do that. But then I'm reminded when people come to the synagogue and they hear us read in Hebrew and chant the Torah, they say, oh, I wish we did that. And then I think, oh yeah, we're pretty cool too. But it's embracing those opportunities of delving deeper, of being curious enough to be able to see the divine and all sorts of fabrications, because if we remember in the Abrahamic traditions, the divine created humanity in their image. So we're all a part of the divine. And so we're all worshiping the divine in all the many different aspects that the divine may show up in. And I equate it to, you get to notice a little bit about me here. Jacob, my 10-year-old, sees me on a different side. My husband sees me on a different side. My mom knows a lot about me. So everybody sees a little bit about me. But if we put everybody into a room who's ever known me, we'd finally get the full picture of me. That's God. Of being able to see the full picture of the divine is when we get to go experience all of the different faith traditions. We get that opportunity to see a bigger picture of how the divine shows up. So the work that we're doing at Augustana, oh my goodness. The students are amazing. We have students, there's 1,500 students. And of course, the vast majority of them are Christian, and they're of so many different flavors. It is an ELCA Lutheran university, so they do believe in being rooted and open, rooted in the Lutheranism and open to learning. So ELCA is very much in the spirit of being interfaith. They recruit students from all over the world. So we have students from all over Southeast Asia, Africa, the Middle East, Europe, and they bring their faith traditions with them. So we have students who practice Hinduism, from all parts of India. And it's not all the same Hinduism. You have North India, South India. It would be like maybe having the evangelical Southern Baptist and the ELCA together, and you try to make them practice Christianity the same way. It doesn't work out very well, right? And we do have Buddhism, we have Islam, we have a Shia student, and we have Sunni students. So they practice Islam a little bit differently. We have students who are just on a spiritual journey like I was. So we have agnostic, we have atheist. We have students who are just trying to figure things out and are going to this and going to that, and who knows what they're going to be. I have students who are Catholic today and are Lutheran tomorrow and want to be Jewish, and then next day they want to be Muslim. There are students who are determined to be able to spread the gospel to everybody. So we have a gamut. So we have an interfaith council of 8 students. They apply to be on the council. It is a paid position. We meet once a week, and our job is to figure out how do we model interfaith work and how do we uplift the holidays on campus. And so we identify certain holidays like Diwali and Holi for Hinduism and Sikhism. And then we focus on how do we accommodate and support our Muslim students during Ramadan and host the Eids. And how do we, if there's Jewish students, how do we get them over to Passover or celebrate Hanukkah? And so we identify those students and work with them on an individual basis, but then create group events. We have chai and chats, where we bring students together in the interfaith room, which is a room where it's a meditation space, and it has all the needs that you need for the different religions, and where students come together and they talk about their faith traditions. So one Shine Chat was the Lakota students talking about their spirituality. One Shine Chat was me talking about my spiritual journey coming into Judaism. One Chai and Chat was talking about the Hindu faith. And so it's this opportunity for the students to just have an unofficial conversation about religion, because a lot of times religion, people think of it as stuffy white old men in a religion department, and they're so cerebral up here, and it becomes inaccessible. When religion is practiced down here, and we just need the high flyover information so that we know how to interact with each other. We don't need to know all the philosophers and all the whatever. We just need to know, what are the important holidays? What are the important deities? What's the afterlife all about? Like, we just need the key things so that we know how we can interact with people. And that's what we do during that Chai and Chat, is to be able to have those conversations. And then one brilliant thing that we did was we took some of the students to the Upper Midwest American Academy of Religion in Des Moines a couple weekends ago. And they had a focus on interfaith. So I had no idea that Des Moines was so religiously diverse. So we went to 6 houses of worship. We went to a Hindu temple, which has deities for on the north and deities on the south. So you had the marble and the stone. And then we went to a Bosnian mosque that is just being built because they have a large Bosnian refugee community. The next night we went to a Hindu community center where we were able to eat. And we went to a Laotian Buddhist temple for the new year. And then the next day we went to a Coptic church, which used to be an Orthodox synagogue, that dismantled, and a Coptic church bought it. So that's an Egyptian church. So they speak in Coptic and Arabic during the church service, and it's Orthodox. So, I mean, it was just fascinating to see that. And then we went to a Sikh Gurdwara, and were able to participate in their holiday. And so to be able to see the divine in all of those different places of worship with those students was quite remarkable. And to see how they saw it and then how I saw it. Because I've been on my spiritual journey a lot longer than them. And it was really fascinating to compare notes on the car ride back on what they saw versus what I saw. But we're going to be doing some amazing things as our program grows. Right now, Augustana has 2 pastors. So we have Pastor Ann Rosendale, and she's been really in the forefront of pushing the interfaith work and understanding that all students need a place of belonging. And if we're recruiting students from all over the world, we need to be able to provide the resources to help them feel like they belong. And then we're hiring a second pastor, an associate pastor, to be able to help with this. I'm only 10 hours a week, so there's only so much that I can do at Augustana when I'm full-time at Voices for Peace, and I'm a mom of a 10-year-old. And so we're hoping to be able to really expand the programming with this associate pastor to be able to help support the interfaith work that we do. One other thing that I forgot to say, one day, to prepare for Ramadan, we got in cars and we took the students around to the different halal markets here in town to help the students be able to get the food they needed for Ramadan. And so we explored some of the most amazing little ethnic stores here in town. Highly recommend. And one student from China, she just came along because she was bored and didn't have a car, and she just didn't know what to do. So she was like, "Can I just come with?" And we're like, "Absolutely." So we ended up going to Mekong, the Asian food market, and she started crying because she said, I can buy the food, I know. And so to be able to create those opportunities in the Office of Faith and Spiritual Life, of understanding spirituality transcends just sitting in the pews. It transcends sitting in your house of worship. It includes so much more. It includes who you are. To be able to create those opportunities is just really, really powerful to bring people into belonging, because really that's what we want to do, right? Is we want to belong. We want to be a part of something. And spirituality can be so vulnerable. It can be so individual. It can be so personal. But it's who we are, it's how we show up, it's our identity, but we also don't want it to have it exclude us from being with other people. And so it's really important that we find these communities and find that piece of belonging, because isn't that what the divine wants us to be too? Is to be a part of a group of belonging. So I look forward to any questions afterwards in the talking circle, because I could go on, and I know that I should not go on and on. So I look forward to talking to you all later. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm sure we all look forward to commenting and asking you questions. Oops, got to get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing here. I know that something comes next. Now we're going to do our third song, which is in an insert. Oh, I'm sorry. In order to keep this place going, we need money, so please give. I'm an amateur. Oh, was actually supposed to read something about this. We give these gifts freely, we receive. What? Oh, we gotta wait till the dough comes up. Okay, all right. Do I get 50% of this? I forgot. Okay. We give these gifts freely. We receive these gifts gratefully. It is to the work of our congregation. Serving human wholeness, caring for our planet, upholding religious freedom, and welcoming the stranger and loving one another. Okay, now for that third song that's on the insert, What a Wonderful World. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Skies of blue, clouds of white, the brightest day, our sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. Friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. Hear babies cry, why? Watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And now for our closing reading on 561 by Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Again, I want to thank everybody. Thank you for the wonderful presentation that you gave us. And now we extinguish the chalice. Well, we got an official extinguisher here. Distinguished extinguisher. Anyway. The chalice is extinguished, but the light goes on with us out of the world. I forgot to announce that half of the money that was collected today will go to Augustana's Interfaith organization. Now, please. Oh, another announcement. Okay.
I asked Sandrine to make this important announcement.
Good morning, everyone. There is a couple of things I arrived late this morning, so I didn't mention it at the beginning, but next Saturday after the cleaning, later in the afternoon, I love how All Souls is a place of worshiping here, but they offer a lot of other beautiful activities and offerings. And next week, on Saturday, May 11th at 3 p.m., there's going to be a play, The Little Prince, an adaptation from a local troupe here. And they're going to play for everybody. Well, children are welcome as well. It's a 45-minute play made by a woman here in Sioux Falls. She's from Russia, but she's a wonderful actor. And she's asked to play for us this Saturday at 3 p.m. So you're welcome to attend. Another announcement is also this building is way more than a worship place, and we've been doing Women's Circle and ecstatic dance here once a month. And so the next dance gathering in time. So it's an invitation to move your body in a way that feels good for you. It's a non-judgmental and very open, fun event. So this is happening on Tuesday night from 6:30 to 8:30. And the next Women's Circle, this one is only for women, is happening later in the month. I think it's Thursday, May 23rd from 7 to 8:30. So just wanted you to know about all those fun things happening outside of our Sunday services. Thank you.
Okay, please join us for coffee downstairs, and then I'm being signaled. I have no idea what Eric Berg says go back there if you want to find out about Unitarian Universalism. But after coffee, come up here and join us for discussion. Oh, yeah, birthday cake day. Don't forget the cake.